When it comes to strange deaths and cover-ups, no place is more notorious than Hollywood. In 2008, Randy Quaid was ridiculed by the media when he claimed many of his famous colleagues who died tragically, including Heath Ledger and David Carradine, were actually murdered by a shadowy group he referred to as Star Wackers.
I believe these actors were whacked.
Now, after some of the shocking revelations coming out of Hollywood, he doesn't sound so crazy after all. What famous figures may have been their victim? It's time to take a closer look at the dark side of the entertainment industry, a place where dreams are made, fortunes are lost, and murder is just a phone call away. At a hotel lobby in Vancouver, reporters gathered for a press conference by Randy Quaid and his attorney had no idea what to expect. They assumed the actor would offer some explanation to his recent legal troubles, and perhaps why he was now claiming refugee status in Canada. What they got was a nefarious plot worthy of its own thriller. The noticeably shaken actor revealed a system of what he called Star Wackers, who off celebrities for the mafia-esque Hollywood elite. Among the alleged victims were Heath Ledger, David Carradine, and more. Furthermore, he claimed he and his wife were being targeted.
We believe there to be a malignant tumor of star whackers in Hollywood. How many people do you know personally who have died suddenly and mysteriously in the past 5 years? I have personally known 8 actors, all of whom I have worked with and was close to. Heath Ledger, Chris Penn, David Carradine, and others.
They follow us, they tail us, tag our cell phone, they hack our computer, Mr. Quaid said. The press, aided by some of his loony roles, portrayed Quaid as crazy, a popular jibe used by the mainstream media when they want to dismiss someone. Now, a decade later, he isn't sounding so crazy anymore. Over the last couple of years, the unwitting public has discovered many of the celebrities they idolized were either active participants or complicit in some of the most heinous abuses. Harvey Weinstein repeatedly threatened to murder his victims and their families. Maybe Quaid was right all along. So what about Heath Ledger and David Carradine? And who might be the other victims of these Star Wackers? January 22nd, 2008, a masseuse entered Heath Ledger's hotel room. It was a routine she was already used to. But this time, nothing could prepare her for what she was about to discover. The A-list star was sprawled across the bed, unresponsive. There, beside his naked, lifeless body, were prescription pill bottles. The masseuse's next move, however, was not to call 911, the police, or the hotel, but none other than Mary-Kate Olsen, who she apparently had on speed dial. After not one but 2 calls to the A-list child star, Olsen sent her personal security team over to the room. It wasn't until after the security team assessed the situation that authorities were finally called. The masseuse's story reportedly changed several times, and another little tidbit curiously left out of the mainstream reports is how the masseuse got into Ledger's room in the first place. Most hotel doors lock automatically. When questioned concerning her part in the incident, Mary-Kate would not comment, unless police granted her immunity from prosecution. Equally strange is the bizarre film he was working on at the time, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, which is full of occult and Masonic symbolism. Troubling production photos from the film show Ledger hanging from a noose with an Illuminati pyramid painted across his forehead. Had the 28-year-old already been marked for death? There are simply too many irregularities and strange coincidences swirling around this case. Kung Fu star David Carradine's body was found hanging in the closet of his Bangkok hotel suite on June 4, 2009. The 72-year-old martial artist, who had starred in both Kill Bill films, was in Thailand working on his latest film. Upon closer inspection, many aspects of Carradine's death do not add up. So much so that his wife and brother believe the Kung Fu star was actually murdered.
I looked and I looked and I realized he had ligature marks on his neck that were about 3 inches wide and basically ear to ear, and basically, he almost got his head cut off, is what I'm saying. And to me, I just did the math and I added it up right there. I mean, I said, well, you don't do this to yourself. In the closet, all 5'6" of me, I could not fit in that closet standing up. Second of all, 5-star hotel, well, it was pretty flimsy in the closet because you know the wardrobe bar? Is that what it's called? The bar that goes across? It was literally cheap aluminum. I could snap it with my fingers. So the idea of him hanging his 6-foot plus, 200+ pound frame didn't wash with me right from the get, just by investigating my room.
What many do not know is that Carradine actually comes from one of these elite Luciferian families. His father was John Carradine, a well-known member of a satanic cult known as the Ordo Templi Orientis, or the OTO. The OTO conducts high-level Illuminati sex magic rituals. But the OTO isn't the only Luciferian cult David's father belonged to. John Carradine was identified by Gregory Mank, author of the book Hollywood's Hellfire Club, as a member of a group called the Bundy Drive Boys that engaged in satanic practices, including incest, rape, and cannibalism. So David Carradine was no stranger to this sick world. He was raised in it. But it was a notorious incident at a rock star's funeral that showed the world how angered Carradine was by this evil system and marked him as a loose cannon. Dave McGowan released the book Weird Scenes Inside the Canyon. In it, he writes about a bizarre incident that occurred at the open casket memorial for the bird singer Gene Clark. According to witnesses, Carradine walked up to the casket, grabbed the deceased rocker by the lapels, and yanked his body out of the coffin. I won't read the line Carradine yelled on here because it would increase censorship, but you can read the excerpt from the book yourself. Carradine was knocking on the door of Hollywood's biggest and worst secret, the systematic abuse of children. Supposedly, Carradine was doing research of his own into the OTO and other Illuminati secret societies. Jerry Penacoli said on the Larry King Show the actor was, quote, very interested in investigating and disclosing secret societies. Was Carradine eliminated by the notorious Star Wackers? Many of his family members and former colleagues believe so. His widow sued the film company, claiming an assistant who was supposed to help Carradine navigate the city abandoned him the night before he was found. Another suspicious element surrounding celebrity deaths is the financial motive. How do celebrities become worth more dead than alive? Unlike most people, entertainers earn money off of previous works. When the entertainer dies, the producers and corporations who also own part of those works see their profits increase dramatically. But that isn't the only way Hollywood fat cats and big studios get rich off of celebrity deaths. Once the artist is dead, companies get to capitalize off their work in ways they could never while the artist was still alive, like unreleased songs, greatest hits albums, and box sets. What many don't know is that production companies take out hefty life insurance policies on their stars. At this point, a star whacker's job isn't about protecting Illuminati secrets or sacrifice, but cold hard cash. But by far the strangest celebrity death on this list is that of Brittany Murphy. The talented former A-lister had starred in classics such as Clueless, 8 Mile, and Happy Feet. On December 20th, 2009, the world was stunned to learn the 32-year-old dropped dead in her Los Angeles home. But if that wasn't puzzling enough, the circumstances were about to get much more bizarre. Within months, her husband would also be dead, supposedly of the same mysterious illness. What are the odds that two relatively healthy young adults would die within months of each other of the same cause? In any ordinary world, Such an unlikely coincidence would simply be too bizarre and spark further investigation. But Hollywood isn't an ordinary world. Far from it. The coroner eventually ruled her cause of death to be pneumonia and anemia. The press ran with the angle that Murphy's death was drug-related. But Murphy's father believes there was a more sinister motive behind his daughter's death. He had a private analysis performed which showed levels of toxic metal that were 10 times those considered safe. Such heavy metals are found in household rat poison, leading her father and others to believe Brittany was poisoned.
As far as the toxicology reports, and everything sounds very, very, very more or less suspicious. And I feel she was poisoned. There's no question about that. And I feel she was murdered. I don't suspect anyone. Actually, I do really, but I'd rather not speak about that.
But who would want the actress dead? Deeper research reveals that Murphy had run afoul of the U.S. government by coming to the aid of a stunt double friend of hers who was a Department of Homeland Security whistleblower. There is also strong evidence that Murphy was one of Hollywood's many MK Ultra victims, or at the least a highly dissociative personality. Many believe her shady husband Simon Monjack was really her handler. Monjack is alleged to be a con man with a less than sunny past. Sharon Murphy, Brittany's mom and the only living survivor of this situation, admitted to the LA coroner that she had been sharing a bed with her son-in-law Simon Monjack up until the time of his death. Told you it was going to get weird. It would appear that in the case of Brittany Murphy, as with anything else in Tinseltown, nothing is what it seems. There are some creepy coincidences surrounding many of these celebrity deaths. David Carradine played Bill in the Kill Bill movies. Heath Ledger's final film depicted him dying covered in Illuminati symbols. Could these deaths have been Illuminati sacrifices done at the hands of the notorious Hollywood star Wackers? Are some stars risen to fame in order to later be sacrificed in a form of mega ritual? Researchers say yes, and point to the many odd and mysterious deaths of those in the entertainment industry. So was Quaid right about Hollywood star Wackers? Quaid is a Hollywood veteran of over 30 years, even being nominated for an Oscar, not to mention having an A-list brother. No telling what all he has seen and heard behind the scenes in his over 30 years working in the entertainment industry. The truth is, celebrities live in a very different world, with a very different set of rules, and those who don't play by the rules don't tend to stick around. Hi, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. As always, I want to thank my patrons at patreon.com and those who donate through PayPal. Your generous contributions help keep these videos and research coming.